こんにちは、洋芸発生です。トライアルグルストラテジーの第17話を今回やっていきます。英語オタクなんで英語ボイス、日本語字幕でやっていきますので、洋画っぽくお楽しみください。初めての方にもなるべくわかりやすく話していきたいと思います。
The members of House Wolford gather at Whiteholm Castle to discuss their next move. 嘆きに心が動くならば、第17話前編ですね。やっていきます。
Unexpected though it may be, the salt crystals are now ours. How shall we proceed?
Carefully, for it has the potential to alter the balance of power across Norzelia. This is an opportunity to reshape the realm to our benefit. We must be strategic.
It's a target on our backs is what it is. There'll be no peace for us so long as we hold them.
この国だと塩が高い価値を持ってるんですよね。で、塩っていうのはハイサンドしか持っていなかったんですけど、地中の中に塩を見つけたんですよね。それが前回のお話ですね。
Whether we protect the salt as ours or find another way to use it, we must act soon.
What say you, Your Majesty?
We find ourselves at a crossroads. Not just as a kingdom, but an entire realm. Our decision will touch every life in Norzelia. I too wish to act quickly. But I beg you all for a moment alone with my thoughts.
Your caution is admirable, but ill-advised. Hesitation could cost us everything.
That much is obvious. Yet I cannot race headlong into the unknown when so much depends upon us.
Benedict, I find myself unmoored as well. I wish to hear from all present before we decide upon a course of action.
As you wish. Pray let it be swift.
Serenoa, answer me this. Can I count on you to walk the path with me, whatever it may be?
I was named Lord of House Wolford long before I was inducted into the Saintly Seven. And I've been your friend even longer still.
Say no more. Take the others to Castle Wolford and await my word. Likewise, inform me of any movements from Hyzant.
As you wish. Until we meet again.
S フロスト報告の方でメインストーリーがいくつかありますね。じゃあ、聖杯サンドの方を先に見てみますか。新鉱山で岩塩が発見されたっていうのを知ったんですよね。
Milo has sent a dispatch from Glenbrook.
はい、移動。
Deep within the Grand Norzelian mines lies... It would seem salt crystals were found within.
ハイサンドにとってはピンチなはずなんですよね。
The discovery of salt outside the source explains Gustadolf's recent provocations.
ハイサンドっていうのは塩で儲かってた国なんで。
How can you be so calm? The teachings tell us that salt is a blessing. Bestowed only upon the goddess's followers. The discovery of these salt crystals is an existential threat to Hyzant.
Salt crystals are salt too. We need only keep word of this discovery from spreading.
Of course. But how?
The Hierophant has spoken. Minister Exham, you shall raise an army and seize the Grand Norzelian mines in Hyzant's name.
前回ですね、ノゼリア新鉱山でバトルがあって、グリンブル公国が管理してるはずなんですけど、
Minister Serenoa is one of us, and thus is honor bound to heed the Hierophant's word.
その教皇はちょっと今のところまだ姿を現さないですけどね。
or if he will cast his lot with his precious king.
You shall ask him yourself when you surround Castle Wolfort en route to the mine.
And if he resists?
You are free to deal with him as we do with all who forsake the goddess.
聖杯サンドと戦うことになるんですかね。今までは協力関係だったんですけどね。エスフロストの方ですね。相当の門先に見てみますか。前回ですね、スバローグ、ここ管理しているスバローグが岩塩があるっていうことを知ったんですよね。めっちゃ兵がいる。
I am gladdened to see each and every one of you, my ironclad brothers in arms, here at Twins Gate. I have asked you here to tell you of a most fortuitous discovery. We have found crystals of salt deep in the grand Norzelian mines. Alas, Glenbrook has taken those very mines from us.
その前に岩塩の多くは
Glenbrook's
エス
esteemed
フロスト
House
に運び込んだ
Wolfort
みたいですけ
is
どね。
led by one of the saintly seven of Hyzant. They will no doubt be informed of the salt crystals, and their precious religion will be shaken to its core. I trust you can all imagine how Hyzant will respond to such an affront. They will not go quietly, but will instead seek the crystals for themselves, that their reign of terror may continue unimpeded. Therefore, we must subdue Glenbrook and seize the mines for Esfrost if we are to counter this grave threat. But we cannot stop there, for that will only draw Hyzant to our gates. They will stop at nothing to conquer all of Norzelia in their name. The duchy has never been in a more precarious position. But we will not yield. We subscribe to no faith, and we bend the knee for no king. We shall greet our enemies at Twinsgate with cold, hard steel. Our newest weapon, the Death's Knell, is nearly complete. With it, we shall strike back at Hyzant. The false goddess shall crumble beneath the sheer force of our iron will, and Hyzant reduced to rubble along with her. Raise your swords, my black iron heroes. Your names shall be cast in iron when the histories of this day are written. You shall be known as the defenders of Esfrost! For Esfrost!
これがスバログ。
Oh yes. The Death's Knell will reduce many a falsehood to rubble, dear Gustadolf.
エスフロストの市街地ですね。北のエスフロスト公国の街中ですか。
Have you heard the popular rumor, Lord Claris?
That Hyzant intends to raise an army against Glenbrook? Yes, I am familiar.
So it's reached the consortium then. Is it true?
King Roland has only just reclaimed the crown city with
これ
Hyzant's
誰だっ
help,
けな。
not to mention
ああ、
restored relations with
ノ
them.
ゼリア商会の人か。
Ordinarily, such a thing
塩
would
の
be
売
unthinkable,
人ですね。
but the rumors are so
塩の
persistent
売
that I
買を
think
している
something
人
may
です。
be
悪い顔
afoot.
をしてますけどね、
For
なんかね。
example?
I wouldn't be so restless if I had an example to give.
Esfrost gathers its troops at Twinsgate. Might they have heard the rumors as well?
Perhaps. A battle for the very soul of Norzelia may loom on the horizon. But therein lies the opportunity for merchants like us. You can't wage war without a surfeit of supplies.
You're quite right about that.
And each shift in Norzelia's power balance opens new business opportunities.
Will the consortium continue trading with Hyzant?
Tis difficult to say. I believe House Wolfort's actions from here on will be key to the consortium's decision.
House Wolfort, you say?
Indeed. They've been involved in most every conflict between the three nations on this continent. Why stop now? I shall wait and see how Lord Serenoa responds first, lest I make any hasty decisions.
あれ、これひょっとして新年の天秤とかで、これからの行動を決めるんですかね。
Hyzant has learned of the salt crystals. Minister Exham of the Saintly Seven wastes no time in mustering his army, which now marches on the Grand Norzelian
ハイサンド
mines.
軍が攻めてくる。どうする？
Elsewhere, Gustadolf amasses his own forces at Twinsgate in anticipation of the war to come. All eyes are on Glenbrook, where Roland and Serenoa's pronouncement could touch off a battle for the soul of Norzelia. After much deliberation, Roland makes his way to Castle Wolffort to inform Serenoa of the decision that now weighs heavy on his heart.
何かロランが、決めたんですね。ウォルフォード城、ロランが来るんですね。ウォルフォード城っていうのはセレノアたち主人公のいる領にある、お城ですね。
I appreciate you coming all this way, Roland.
I was the one who asked for your time, so it is only natural I make the journey. I wish to tell you that I finally made up my mind.
And I would hear your decision if you were willing to share it with me.
I've long pondered over the one thing that Norzelia needs most. I thought back on the Salt Iron War. 30 years have passed, yet the root of our conflict remains the same. Each nation still thinks only of itself, wishing to fill its coffers even at the expense of others. But who bears the brunt of such a war?
The people.
Exactly so. The avarice of the ruler is an existential threat to their loyal subjects.
And yet without that wealth, the people suffer just as much. They languish in poverty.
This much is obvious. But there can be no winner without a loser. Remove one and you necessarily remove the other. If we achieve equality, we achieve peace.
And how do you propose we achieve?
平等、戦争しないってこと？
Yes. The goddess's teachings.
All
All can live as equals under the goddess. An authority greater than any king. The model nation was in front of us all along, Serenoa. The holy state of Hyzant. I have decided that we must give the salt crystals in the Grand Norzelian mines to Hyzant.
岩塩を渡す。
And in so doing, you'll give them control of all Norzelia.
Exactly. There will be no more squabbling over salt. Norzelia will know eternal peace at last.
Unequal peace, surely. One built on the
これは
backs
意
of a
外で
people
したね。
like the Roselle, if not the Roselle themselves.
ノーゼリア新鉱山をハイサンドに渡しちゃうっていう、
Few will suffer for the good of so
そういう
many.
提案ですか？
Nothing in this world is perfect, Serenoa. The sacrifice of the few for the good of the many.
どうなんそれ？
It's the only clear answer, and one I would give every time I were asked.
Submitting to the goddess will rob you of your kingship.
So be it. My crown, my pride. They are but small prices to pay for peace.
You are truly prepared to throw it all away.
Join me, Serenoa. Let us unite Norzelia under the
ハイ
holy
サンドの
state.
ノーゼリア統一に協力してくれって言うけど、ローゼル族とかを
Roland, this is quite
虐
sudden.
待してたし、
I understand.
あの教えどうなんて
Pray,
いう
take all
風
the
に
time you need.
思ってるんですよね。
I expect Frederica will want nothing to do with this plan, seeing as it forsakes her people. I am already mourning the rift this may cause between you, but I shall not be swayed. This will be my final act as Glenbrook's king.
King Roland's anguish plays plainly across his face.
フレデリカさんっていうのは主人公の奥さんで、ローゼル族なんですよね。
The future of our kingdom, to say nothing of the entire continent, rests upon his shoulders.
Pray tell, what do you intend to do about the salt crystals?
In truth, I cannot decide. Salt is too precious to be hoarded. We've a duty to share it with the people, which is...
Where the difficulty lies, yes. The source makes that all too clear. Salt lies at the heart of every war in Norzelia.
Would that the boundless salted sea of Rosellan legend still existed. We'd have no need of conflict if there were a source of salt for all.
My love, if I may, the discovery of the salt crystals has made two things plain to me. The first is that my mother spoke true in the legend she passed on to me.
And the other is that the goddess's teachings are nothing more than a lie built to constrain your people.
Just so. We are guilty of nothing. Yet the Roselle languish in the source, where they are looked down upon and forced to work until they die. Entire generations lost, countless lives given to Hyzant's cruelty. Cruelty created to justify Hyzant's own avarice and lust for power.
Such is the ugly lie at the heart of their teachings.
One revealed by a crystal of the mineral they hold so dear. The time has come, Serenoa. The Roselle must be freed. The salt crystals have brought us to the brink of war. We can harness this unrest, incite the Roselle to rise up and rebel against their captors.
I am with you. Believe me, I am. But you make it sound so...
Simple. Yes, I know. But the suffering of my people is so distant for everyone else. We can no longer wait for someone to do the right thing. Help isn't coming. Why else would my own mother incite rebellion? We are alone.
I swear to you, none of this feels distant to me. The Roselle live in my domain. I am betrothed to you, my dear. It couldn't feel any closer.
And I thank the stars that I have you
あ
by
ま
my
りに
side.
もローゼル族っていうのは少数派だと思うんですけどね。
That's why I think this
今
time
ま
will
で
be
の話を
different.
聞くと、そんな
Why
に
I'll
数
be
は多
able
く
to
ないんじゃないか。
accomplish what my mother could not.
I agree. But the risk is immense. Suppose we succeed, what then? Hyzant will not let us go quietly.
Of course not.
And when that time comes, you can lead the Roselle to Centralia.
セントラリア
Just as your mother wrote about in the book she left behind. Beyond the Great Falls and the
アルプ
Folk's
ス領の
domain
奥
at the
の
end of the
南に
Norzelia River.
ある
The
果て。
ancestral home of the Roselle.
But that's just a legend.
We've already found one legend to be rooted in truth. Perhaps this one is as well.
このノゼリア大陸っていうのはずっと陸続きなんですよね。で、まあ、周りが
I
ちょっと
doubt
見えなく
Benedict
な
will
ってるんで
share
すけ
our
どね。
feelings, though. Abandoning all we've built to embark on a journey fraught with danger in search of a legend. Yet no matter how perilous the path ahead, I would happily walk it at your side.
フレデリカさんは当然自分のローゼル族を助けたいということですね。
I trust you understand what a monumental effect the discovery of these salt crystals will have on Norzelia's history. Whatever course of action we choose will determine whether House Wolfort leaves a legacy in that history or is expunged from it.
How would you proceed, Benedict?
I would do all I could to keep it from falling into Hyzant's
ドラン
hands.
と全く逆な
They
感じ。
already control the source. With the crystals in hand, they will solidify their grip on the realm and in time dominate it. The siren song of a false equality under their goddess shall blanket the land, claiming every domain and its people.
Even though they count me among the Saintly Seven.
Even then, for that matters little when the equality they espouse is dictated by the goddess, or should I say, the Hierophant. In the end, they will have the same life and death control over
教皇
all
の存在っていうのが
Norzelia
気
that
に
they
なるん
now
ですよ
hold
ね。
over the
その正
Roselle.
体をどうしても
Our
明か
wounds
したい
from the
で
battle
す
with
よね。
Esfrost have only begun to
そも
heal.
そも本当にいるのかとか
Hyzan will
含めてですけ
destroy
ど、
us if we wage war against them in our current state.
そういう風に持っていきたいな。
But they stand little chance against us if we ally with
おっ
Esfrost.
と、エスフロストと手を組む案が
Ally with Esfrost?
あるよ。
Are you of sound
正
mind,
気か
Benedict?
ベネディクト。こんだけ
Quiet.
争っといて
Think。about it for a moment. Esfrost wants nothing more than to loosen Hyzant's grip. They will go to war if it means control of the salt crystals.
Our interests are broadly aligned, yes, but
Esfrost has been building toward precisely that purpose for some time now.
you speak of the Death Knell, the weapon that Cordelia mentioned.
Precisely. A weapon capable of reducing the goddess's shield to rubble, leaving Hyzant's capital ripe for the taking. Without that weapon, we cannot win. You need only say the word, and I shall convince Esfrost to join our side.
I appreciate your candor, Benedict, and I do not doubt you could secure Esfrost's cooperation. But I fear the harder fight is within our own domain. King Roland's heart will not be easily won.
I bid you listen closely and calmly to what I'm about to ask.
From whence this somber tone?
なんだ
Do you believe King Roland is fit to
お
rule?
お
What are you implying?
なんてこと言うんだ。
Decorum is of little use when the fate of our realm is at stake, Lord Serenoa. Are you content to spend the rest of your life in servitude to another?
Not another word, Benedict. Roland is more than my king. He is my friend.
And you are Lord of House Wolfort, whose military prowess is known to all Norzelia.
あ、そういえばそうだっ
Not the
た。
guard dog of
生
Glenbrook and
まれ
Hyzant.
がセレノアも
What else are you here to
レグ
do?
ナ王の
if
子
not
供
to
だってい
protect
う
your
ことが
house
分かった
and
んです
keep
よ
its
ね。
banner
ってこと
aloft?
は自分もグリンブルク王家の王になる資格があるっていうことが何話か前で分かった
All
んですよね。
Norzelia could be yours if you but desired it.
Treason, if not outright regicide. These are your suggestions.
Of course not. The blood in your veins and the royal family's ring are claim enough to the throne. There is no need for violence.
I told you not to speak of that again.
この件
But you
は
did
ロラン
not
には
tell me
話して
to
ないんですよ
forget.
ね。
The time to reckon with your lineage draws near. You must make a...
I've heard enough. Leave me.
Just know that I will do anything you ask of me, Lord Serenoa. I pray that you make the right choice, not only for House Wolfort, but for yourself.
さあ、そうすると、新年の天秤で、どうやらですね、物語大きく動きます。現在の進行情報をセーブして残しておくことを推奨します。セーブ画面に移行しますか？いいえ、大丈夫です。このまま本当に先に進んでよろしいですか？どうやら、この選択重要ですね。今回の選択で、エンディングが変わるような、そういう感じかな？ひょっとして。
You are certain Hyzan's army marches for the Grand Norzelian mines?
There is no doubt.
They've heard word of the crystals.
It was only a matter of time. We knew this.
Esfrost's army gathers at Twinsgate as well.
War's breaking out over this thing, and we've got to be ready.
How will Glenbrook respond, King Roland?
There's no need to prepare for war. I have decided that we will surrender the salt crystals to the holy state of Hyzant.
これがロランの答えです。
What?
Furthermore, I hereby declare that the kingdom of Glenbrook and its people shall submit to the goddess and her teachings. There is no way to bring happiness to all Norzelia with the salt crystals. Which is why I have chosen a path that will allow the greatest number of people to live in equality and harmony.
How could you? Do you not see that Hyzant's dominion over Norzelia's salt is why we are in conflict already? Is the suffering of the Rosal not proof enough that the goddess's vaunted equality is a lie?
ね、そうなんじゃないんですか
She speaks the truth,
ね。
my king. Handing over the salt crystals is tantamount to giving Hyzant's goddess free reign of Norzelia. Will you so readily surrender the realm to the Hierophant?
I acknowledge the abdication of my kingdom and kingship alike. A small price to pay in my eyes, in exchange for the security and prosperity of the many.
And the sacrifice of the Rosal, is that a small price to you?
It is.
How could you say such a thing to my face?
I, for one, oppose. I would prefer to ally with Esfrost and strike back at Hyzant.
これはベネディクトの案ですね。
The salt deposits within the mines give us the leverage we need to convince Gustadolf to join us.
Ally with Esfrost? You dare suggest we ally with the man who murdered my father?
ロランの父親と兄はエスフロストに殺されてるんですよね。
You proposed abdicating the throne for the sake of the kingdom and its people. So you should have no trouble putting aside your own feelings and judging this matter dispassionately.
I cannot believe my own ears. I will not have you lecture me on feelings when it is not your father he murdered.
None of you can see beyond your own grievances. It's no wonder my people have suffered for generations. We're told to believe in the goddess, while our own lives are thrown away to make a few more grains of your precious salt. And now, even with proof that the goddess is a lie, you would watch us dig our own graves for your comfort.
Lady Frederica, please. We shall speak of the Roselle in due time.
No, I've heard that before. Your due time is never, and I will not have you cast us aside for another 3 decades or more. All else is in disarray. If Hyzant seizes the salt crystals, we forfeit the best opportunity in decades to free my people. We know the truth. We must act upon it. We must be a light in the darkness.
We cannot afford to dilute our forces when the enemy marches on us as we speak.
So we are a distraction to you?
I am merely being rational. Liberating the Roselle would be extremely dangerous. We cannot take such a risk. Suppose we succeed. How do you propose we fend off the fury Hyzant will rain down upon us?
Esfrost would pounce on us, sensing weakness at the undue burden we've taken upon ourselves.
Precisely. We would be without allies and ripe for the taking.
There is another way.
And what, pray tell, would that be?
We set out alongside the Roselle in search of Centralia.
Centralia is a myth.
The legends of my people are true.
I care not one whit if they are. I will hear no talk of forsaking the Wolfort domain.
Silence! I have heard enough to know where each of you stand. Do you all hold the courage of your own convictions?
I do.
Nothing I've heard here has swayed me.
I feel the same.
Very well. But know that a choice must be made. There can only be one way forward. Face the scales of conviction and prepare to make peace with the outcome.
おお、やっぱり来たな、新年の天秤。今回ばかりは決定的な決裂が起こるかもしれない。覚悟を持って挑まなければならない。いや、態度保留の人、圧倒的に多いっすね。子供が生まれたばかりなのです。兵士である前に子供の父親ではボロボトゲではなく自分の家族を守ってやれ。 これにしときます。うん。あれ、外に出られない。いつもみたいに街に出られませんね。ここにも人が。それぞれの意見をどう思われる？あ、そうですね。私のですね、考え的には、ハイサンドとは組みたくないですね。ハイサンドの教皇の存在っていうのが気になってて、それの正体を明かしたい感じがするんですよね。だから、ロランの案には乗れないと。で、どっちかな、ベネディクトの案で、エスフロストに方に行くか、もしくはフレデリカで少数民族、ローゼル族を救うかっていう話なんですけど、こっちの方が面白そうかな。フレデリカのね、ですね。フレデリカの案、理想郷を求めるみたいな話になっちゃうんですけどね。それが見てみたいかなっていう気がしますね。
However,
フレデリカの理想にかける。そうですね。これから円弧のローゼル国解放すればハイサンドの支配体制や崩れ、戦いは、ちょっと待ってよ。一番上ですね。ガンヤをめぐって2国が争う今こそローゼル国を救う機会だと。
Then?
無謀な。心に響かなかった。残念。アンナ、残念。エラドールなら響いてくれるだろ
う。Here's what I think.
フレデリカの理想にかける。まさか。私は父親、これです。岩塩が手元にある以上は争い終わらない。そういえばいっそ捨て去り。っていう感じ。
Consider this. And further.
フレデリカの案は無謀すぎます。響かなかったか。あれか、下だったかな。ウォルホート家のっていうやつだったかな。エラドール。そうですね。ベネディクトはもう、とか、フレデリカは難しいんだな。ジーラならフレデリカの理想に、協力してくれるっしょ。そうですね。ノゼリアの戦乱はこの先もやむことがないだろう。この地を離れ、争いのない国を作りたいのだ。
I don't know. I don't know.
いいんじゃないですか？
However.
ロランの案に従いたいとヒューエットはですね、ロランの部下ですからね。でも、フレデリカの理想に、付き合ってくれないかというふうにしたいですね。上かな、フレデリカが示してくれたのは塩に縛られず、国にも頼らない。
But, furthermore.
考えてくれている。これで、だいたいじゃあこれで、いい感じですかね。フレデリカとか、ベネディクトとか、ロランはもう動かないんですね。よし。じゃあこれでもう投票という感じになりますね。でも、有権者少ないな。有権者の人たち。
It is time to cast our votes.
これだけだからね。
Roland's, Frederica's, Benedict's. Which to choose? Approach the scales of conviction.
パーティーの中でも本当に主要メンバーの中での投票ですね。ロランは当然自分の案。ベネディクトも自分の案。で、フレデリカ、この案にしたいと思っているんですけども、どうかな？後の人たちはジーラついてきてくれるか？ってことは、フレデリカ1票入りました。 アンナは響かなかった。
My apologies.
謝ったね。My apologies と。
I have faith in you.
どういうかな、どっちつかずな感じで。エラドール。
Forgive me, lad.
エラドールはついてきてくれない。ちょっと微妙でしたね。どうかな。ヒューエットがなんかどちらだったかちょっとわかんない感じでしたね。いけるかな。何3対 3?3 対1対 3? どうした？こんな感じがあるんですか。もし。じゃあ自分の形ですね。フレデリカの理想にかける。これにしてみましょ
う。The way forward is decided. Frederica's dream is worth realizing. We will free the Roselle from the source.
はい。終わった。前編が終わった。では17話の続きからですね。
A tumultuous meeting exposes a yawning chasm between Roland, Frederica, and Benedict's visions for the future. Yet only one will emerge victorious, for such is the custom of House Wolford. As ever, the scales of conviction have the final word. The time has come for judgments to be rendered and leaders to steel themselves for the outcome.
第17話後編、最後の願い。行ってみましょう。フレデリカの案にかけたわけですよね。ともすると、両方ともの国を敵に回すような選択でしたけど。
We've chosen our path. We are to free the Roselle being held in Hyzant's source.
You have chosen the one path I cannot take.
I understand your disappointment, Benedict, but the scales have spoken. And so I ask for your wisdom. Help us find a way to free the Roselle.
Hyzant will destroy everything you hold dear if you attempt to free them. That way lies ruin.
あれ、どっか行っちゃう感じですか？
Your choice is to turn your back on this house, to cast aside your land and the people who have built their lives upon it. I will not, I cannot endorse such betrayal.
いや、決めたのに。
We will be ill prepared to defend the domain
新
this way.
年の天秤で決めたのにもう、断固反対ですよ。反対されました。
I am prepared to flee with the Roselle and search for Centralia. They say it is home to a boundless salted sea. Surely a land where none need fight for salt is a land worth seeking. This is an opportunity, Benedict. We could find a new home instead of fighting the wars of old yet again.
Why not channel that resolve to lead the people of Norzelia as their king? You hold the power and the might. You lack only the will. With the salt crystals in hand, you shall ascend the throne. I shall see to it that you are coronated. Then we can liberate the Roselle, or whatever else your heart desires.
Liberate the Roselle, or whatever else. I never dreamed I would hear such callous words fall from your lips.
I stand by them. I care only that you and the legacy of House Wolford are safe and secure. I shall offer my counsel by force, if needed.
You don't mean to fight the lad.
Stand down, Benedict.
No, Anna. This is a challenge that I must accept.
I beg you to reconsider. If you mean to proceed with this folly, then you will do so over my dead body. You can do so much more, Lord Serenoa. The salt crystals give you the upper hand. Esfrost and Hyzant would bend the knee to you. You could unite all Norzelia under your rule.
Benedicto.
You were right about me, Benedict. I lack the will. I have no desire to rule Norzelia. I wish to see an oppressed people set free and nothing more.
At what cost? Would you see your loyal subjects conquered by another nation?
I would forfeit my lordship. The people of Wolfort will endure without me. The Roselle have no such champion for their cause. We are the only ones who can set them free.
Give me the order, and I shall reduce Hyzant to rubble. Then they shall be free.
The ensuing battle will only breed further resentment, or worse, displace others who will be treated like the Roselle. War cannot solve every problem, and our liberation of the Roselle shall prove as much.
やっぱり一番現実的じゃない選択なのかもしれないですよね。どっちの国も味方につけないんですから。
I came to this conclusion of my own free will. I have seen the challenges that face Norzelia, and this is how I choose to respond.
You are every inch Lady Destra's child. Your compassion steers you headlong into every conflict. Alas, compassion is easily trampled. It can only exist so long as it has an army at its back. My patience grows thin, Lord Serenoa. The salt crystals give you the power to bring peace to Norzelia.
You're wrong. It is little more than the catalyst for another protracted war.
A war we can win. Let me lead you to victory.
There is always a war to be won. Do you not see the cycle at work? I will break that cycle and use my power to liberate the oppressed.
You talk of fleeing from your duty, of pure fantasy.
We need you, Benedict.
いや、ベネディクトが全然折れてくれない。
This is absurd. You race toward your own destruction, and I will not be party to it.
全く折れる気配がないな。
Lord Simon entrusted me with the future of this house. And I swore an oath to Lady Destra that I would protect you no matter what the cost.
You are shackled to the past, Benedict.
I would call it loyalty.
And it has come to this. For the sake of our future, I must strike you down.
Prepare yourself.
やるの？
You came?
おお、戦ってる。こんなところで戦ってる。
You came? You missed.
マジで？一緒に戦ってきたのに。
I yield. Grant me the mercy of a swift death.
No. Neither father nor mother would stand for the killing of a loyal retainer. The rest of us shall make our way to Hyzant in secret. You will remain here. Lead the people out of the Wolfort domain before the Hyzantian army assaults this castle, and keep them safe.
These are your orders. In exchange for sparing my life?
These are not orders, and there is no exchange to be made. This is the last thing I will ever ask of you as my steward and loyal
い
friend of
やー、
House
ちょっと物
Wolfort.
語も終盤ですね、これはね。
And so, you follow in the footsteps of Lord Simone and Lady Destra, leaving me behind with the most arduous tasks. I shall rise to the occasion, my lord.
も
I shall do whatever is required to see that the Wolfort name and its people survive. Should House Wolfort lose its lord, I shall lead the house forward in your stead.
う、まあそうすると、ウォルフォートの一般民をどこかに逃がすっていうことを引き受けてくれましたね。で、戦える戦士の人たちは、ウォルフォートを、じゃなくて、ロゼル族を守ると。ベネディクト離脱か、それにしても。
Benedict.
Mule-headed fool.
We've each made our choices. Now we must walk the path we believe is right.
Yes.
King Roland, this decision means casting Glenbrook aside. I know I cannot ask you to come with me, but will you agree to see to the salt crystals?
No. I am sorry, my friend. But I am not worthy to oversee such an important task.
Of course you are. You have always striven to be fair and just.
You hold me much too high in regard. Our conversation earlier made me realize the truth. My faith was misguided, as were my actions. I believed exacting vengeance upon Esfrost would be proof enough I was Glenbrook's rightful king. But I gave no thought to the bloody cost of revenge. This kingdom and its subjects should not have to suffer such a selfish fool upon the throne.
Then, you will come with me?
I shall.
ああ、ローランは離脱しないで
But as your friend,
残ってくれるのか、
if I can help those in need,
このプラン。
that is enough. Glenbrook has the geographical advantage, and the salt crystals. And there are a small handful of trustworthy nobles remaining. I'm certain they will ensure the people thrive, even without a king. Glenbrook is in too powerful a position for foreign powers to interfere.
Roland.
You know you aren't leaving me behind. I've come this far by your side. I'm not abandoning you now.
ヒューエットも。
You have my thanks, Huet.
Frederica, don't you think you ought to make your convictions clear to your companions?
Well, it's common knowledge by now that I'm an Esfrosti of Rosellan descent. I was a lonely child who hated that her hair was a different color from everyone else. But then I joined House Wolfort. I met Jerome and witnessed the cruelty that my fellow Roselle suffered at the source. And I learned how brave my mother was, how long and hard she fought for her people's freedom. Compared to the horrors they went through, I have lived a life of privilege and comfort. I am proud to be a Rosellan, and proud to be a Wolfort. I wish to be strong, strong like my lady mother before me. And I wish to see her dream of freeing our people fulfilled. I understand the difficulties that lie ahead, but hope that I might have you all with me.
We will always be there beside you, Frederica.
My lord,
Hyzant's army has sent a message ahead of their forces.
ハイサンド攻めてきてるんですよね。
It says, the grand Norzelian mines must be conferred to the goddess as a divine offering.
An offering? Sounds more like an ultimatum.
Precisely. If we refuse to relinquish the mines, they'll put the Wolford domain to the sword.
Then we've no time to waste. We must make ready to leave at once. いや、ハイサンドと戦争ですね。ベネディクト。
Benedict.
I leave the rest in your hands, Anna.
All these years I have watched you. I may not be able to replace you, but I will do my best.
Loath as I am to burden you with such responsibility, that is heartening.
This ain't the Benedict I know. Come on. Where's your usual glower?
You never change.
Huh. I should hope not. Defending House Wolford calls for consistency. And defend Wolford I shall, even in your absence.
I shall hold you to it. Both of you.
I'm telling you, we've got it under control.
Your voice hasn't gotten any quieter.
Sorry. Parting ways with a friend always gets me worked up.
Thank you for seeing me off, you two. Farewell.
いやー、これでお別れなのか、本当に。ベネディクト。
What of the Byzantine forces?
They haven't entered the domain yet. If we act now, we could sneak around them and reach the capital.
Focused as they are on seizing the salt crystal deposits, I'd wager their domestic defenses are at a minimum.
If we can get into the capital and have the Roselle and the Source take up arms, we should stand a fair chance of helping them escape.
But Hyzant is wary of Serenoa for keeping the salt crystals from them, despite his position as one of the Saintly Seven. They may be short-handed, but if they spot him, we'll never make it inside.
いや、ハイサンドの首都の方に、もう潜り込んじゃうわけですね。
The wagon from Claris?
ノゼリア新鉱山は今いる兵に任せるわけかな。
Only because this benefits both us and him. In exchange, I told him what secrets we learned of Esfrost and Hyzant.
You mean you told him of Dragan's murder and the illicit salt trade? I hope he understands those secrets must never leave his lips.
He understands. Once people learn of the salt crystals, Norzelia will change. And the Consortium will have a new role to serve. Now that they know, they will be better prepared to negotiate their position. They agreed to help us as a show of gratitude.
You've thought this through. Well done, Anna.
What of our things, Gila?
Stored safely within the cart, of course.
Things? What things?
The explosives we found in the tunnel.
After we've gotten the Roselle to rise up, we'll set sail from the harbor and make for the Folk's Domain, to the Great Falls. To make sure no one follows us, we'll blow up all the other ships in the harbor as we leave.
Frederica and I devised the plan ourselves.
A perfect way to make an escape with so many people.
Wise of you to make for the Folk's Domain. It's distant enough. You'll have plenty of time to hide.
Aye, about as far south as you can get. No better place, if your end goal is Centralia, too.
It's a good plan. We shall do what we can to make sure it succeeds.
Crafty as ever, you Wolforts. I am glad to be on your side.
But one problem remains. How do we get the Roselle and the Source to turn against their captors? If we can't win their trust, all this is for naught.
We need some way of persuading them. And quickly, too.
Let me worry about that. I can find the words to convince them. I am my mother's daughter, after all.
All right. I know you'll figure something out, Frederica.
There is one more thing. Huette, I'll need to send a bird.
Of course, my lady. Where to?
The Rosellan village. I'd like to tell Jerome and the others of our plan. I would have them meet us at the Great Falls.
Agreeing to such a thing means they will have to give up the lives they enjoy now. Do you think they will come?
I cannot say. Regardless, I owe it to them to let them know Hyzant is invading.
Indeed. Let us send word and see what they have to say.
いや、だいたい計画は分かりましたね。ハイサンドの首都で迎え撃って、で、ファルクス領に行くと。で、遥か南を目指すと。
Upon learning of the salt crystal deposits, Hyzant quickly musters her forces. They march upon the Wolfort domain, intent on seizing control of the mine. Serenoa decides to take this as an opportunity to free the Roselle enslaved at the source. But that decision leads to Benedict's departure from House Wolfort.
ねえ、ベネディクトずっと戦ってきたんですけど、
離脱
しましたね。
Make for the Hyzantian capital. There, amidst a land in turmoil, they hope to help the Roselle rise up against their oppressors.
お、ストーリーは、エスフロストの方か、もうサブストーリーがあるんで、ちょっと見てみましょうね。
Archduke Gustadov, we received word from Wolfort. XM's forces have crossed into their domain.
So they know of the salt crystals. Then battle is inevitable. But how will House Wolfort respond?
I should think it obvious they will attack us. Their lord is one of the Saintly Seven, after all.
まあそう見てるわけですね。まあ実際は違うわけですけどね。
Perhaps they will offer us salt crystals to secure our alliance.
To what end?
History is changing around us as we speak. If Wolfort wishes to guide the shape our future takes, he will need all the help he can get. He can choose to submit to Hyzant's tyranny, or work with us to bring freedom to our land. Or he might choose to take advantage of the chaos. Will you follow in Lady Orlea's footsteps, Frederica? Somehow I doubt it.
Your pardon, Archduke.
It's nothing. I let my thoughts wander too far. Whatever path Wolfort chooses, they all lead to war. Ready our forces.
はい。相和がありますね。あれ、誰だろう。知らない人ですね。
Ah, my shop! Someone stop this madness!
エスフロスト兵ですね。
screaming and sniveling. This land is ours now, and we'll do as we please.
You monsters!
Ha! Try me! I'll cut you down where you stand!
鷹に乗ってる。
And just what do you think you're doing?
You disgust me.
屈強の鷹。
So, you've chosen death then?
Hold! Lest my eyes
フ
deceive
ラ
me,
ナ
is
ガ
that
ンド
not
の
Sir Flanagan?
And what if I am?
Tis him! The bloody shield
血
in
に
the
塗られ
flesh!
た盾っていうのを持ってるんですか？
Former Black Iron Captain! Damn it all! Run for your life, you fool!
How far they have fallen. They confuse might for morality, and sully the duchy's good name.
Hail, soldier! I cannot thank you enough for coming to my aid.
'Tis instinct. I cannot abide such cruelty. Though I no longer call myself a soldier, it is the only station my skills afford me.
退役している人なんで年は取ってるんでしょうね。お、来てくれたな、詰め所に。
My lord, a man calling himself Flanagan requests an audience. Will you grant it?
Flanagan?
フラナガン。
Name sounds familiar somehow.
Ah, he fought in the tourney, didn't he? The one they call the Bloody Shield.
The Frosty soldier. What brings him to me? Anyhow, send him in.
盾兵はエラドールがいるんですけども、鷹に乗ってたから移動力はありそうな感じですよね。果たして仲間になってくれる
In a
か。
few moons, Bloody Shield.
エラドールの知り合い
And many more since I answered to that name.
Then what brings an Frosty to us this day?
Words cannot bring back your countrymen, but I give them to you anyway. I condemn the Duchy's actions with every fiber of my being. Deeply ashamed am I of our Archduke's willingness to shed the blood of innocents. Meager though they may be, you have my sympathies.
So, you came all this way just to apologize? You're a strange one, all right.
I am well aware that words alone mean little. And that is why I offer my service, that my words might ring true.
Why House Wolfort? There are far greater armies that would give anything to have a warrior like you in their ranks.
I have no interest in further bolstering the might of Frost or Hyzant. They trample the weak with no remorse. I will stand for it no longer.
And you think you can stand here and call us weak? You little...
You intrigue me, Sir Flanagan. But what of your title? Is your shield truly stained with blood?
It's a name given to me by men, nothing more.
You can trust he'll hold his own in battle if you take him in. One look is enough to tell you that.
A boon to our cause, then. Provided we ourselves do not become the very thing you despise. House Wolfort welcomes you, Sir Flanagan.
The feeling of intrigue is mutual. I am at your service.
You're two peas in a pod, aren't you?
いやー、この終盤だと思われるんですけど、この時点で仲間になるんですね。もう仲間に大体みんななり終わったのかなと思ったんですよね。万能戦士。自身に正面からの攻撃に強い。ちょっとですね、早速フラナガンですか、見てみますか。あ、これか。レベル26の、324ヒットポイント。多くないっすか。まあ、やっぱ防御力が高いっすね。それから張力。まあ、鷹に乗ってるんで、いい感じですよね。自身が弓攻撃のダメージは、まあ、鷹に乗ってる人なんで、多くなっちゃうと。正面から受けるダメージ減少して、シールドバッシュ。物理ダメージを与えて、怒りを付与することもできる。ホークアサルト。選択したマスに鷹で移動して、着地点周囲の敵に物理ダメージを与える。あ、ペインシェアだ。これ、セレノアも、持ってますね。フォートレス。3ターンの間、移動を1低下させる代わりに物理防御を、上昇させると。移動が鷹に乗ってるくせに4しかできないんだな。まあ。あ、なるほど。わかりました。あ、聖杯サンドの方でですね、イドーラが、会議を行ってますね。
Minister Exham's forces ought to be crossing into Wolfort's domain any moment now.
Will it be war, or will they relinquish the salt crystal deposits without resistance?
I think we have no cause for worry. Minister Serenoa is one of our saintly seven after all.
Nevertheless, we cannot be certain what he will choose. Whoever controls those salt crystals controls the future of all Norzelia. Knowing that, You truly think he would give them up without a fight?
Minister Lila is right. He may very well decide to ally with Asfrost and rise up against us. I made sure Minister Exham understood he may very well be marching to war.
Wolfort is a prideful house. If we apply too much pressure on them, they may hold out simply out of principle.
Honestly, they are more trouble than they are worth. It almost makes me wish we could turn them and Esfrost against each other.
That is something else to consider. We could even promise them the Roselle's freedom, should they triumph over the duchy.
A fine proposition. The best outcome would be to have them destroy Esfrost for good.
And in doing so, they'd be destroyed themselves. Surely you would not wish for such slaughter.
Soft hearts have no place here, Minister Camsell. We fight for control of all Norzelia.
And we must fight to win. Our troops will need Elfric, Minister Lila. See that they have it.
Of course. I'll see to
エ
any
ルフリ
final
ック、
adjustments of the
船を一
Ministry of
隻
Medicine.
沈めることもできるような力を持ってるんですよね。それ使ってくると。ボルホートの町です。ボルホートの民の前に現れたのは、ベネディクトたちですね。
You want us to leave the city?
You couldn't have told us this sooner? I've got a family to worry about.
I understand I ask much of you, but a bloody battle is nigh. You must be ready to evacuate if it comes to it.
But where is our lord? Won't he protect us?
Lord Serenoa marches toward an even fiercer conflict than what we face here. He left me to protect the people of Wolford in his stead. I ask that you trust in our house and do as I bid.
All right then. I suppose we'll start packing.
Your mastery at matters of war has kept us safe this long. If you say we need to leave, that's what we'll do.
You have my thanks. I've one more thing to ask of you. Something I'd like each of you to make.
作ってもらいたいもの。最後のお願い終わりましたね。はい。じゃあこれでですね、一旦おしまいにしたいと思います。またチャンネル登録やいいねをいただけるとですね、大変励みになります。また続きの動画はですね、やっていきたいと思います。失礼します。